Hey, what's up, Nashville? This is Bo Beach with the Free Speech Podcast presented by Beechwood Commercial Real Estate Brokerage. I've got 7 different stories to share with you today. As always, they will be presented in an authentic, no nonsense style, as I believe is very in demand in the world today. Everyone is so full of BS. A little bit of authenticity goes a long way. So I'm going to shoot it to you straight. The first story we'll discuss today is Tractor Supply, which is based in Brentwood, abandons its woke activism. What a story that was. They really saved the day and did so all within 3 weeks of being called out for their woke activism. I'll break that down for you. We'll then discuss the new record land sale. The buyer paying $7,461 per square foot of parking lot. The buyer just broke its own record, which it set in 2022. I'll explain that one for you. Then we're going to get into a little bit of sports. Nashville SC names a new coach. I'll let you know who he is, and I'll give you an update on how Nashville SC is doing in their division. Then I'm going to give you something we don't usually do often, right? So I'm not in the residential real estate business. I'm a commercial real estate broker. So I usually stay away from the residential data, but I think presenting you with kind of a no-nonsense update on what's happening locally in the residential market, I don't think the information is presented in a way that makes concise sense to people. So I'm going to give you kind of a no-nonsense update on what residential real estate values are doing here locally. And I'm going to introduce you to a new Arkansas bank that is dominating the Nashville commercial real estate lending space. You've probably never heard of them, but they are splashing big money in Nashville right now. So I'm going to introduce you. Next, I'm going to provide you with surprising ways that 3 blue chip companies actually make their money. You might be surprised. We'll talk about McDonald's, Costco, and Marriott. And then lastly, I'm going to introduce you to a local company who is creating a business called My Home, an AI driven home maintenance and repair company. I think they're really onto something here. Having the idea and actually being able to execute the idea, 2 very different things, but nevertheless, they're on their way to a great business here. I think they are really filling a need in the marketplace, and I think they have a very smart idea. So I'm going to present their business to you as well. So let's get into it. Tractor Supply Company, one of Nashville's largest public companies, has eliminated its diversity, equity, and inclusion rules just 3 weeks after getting called out by a conservative blogger. That's not the right word. I'll come up with a better word than that. All of this happened. The conservative activist, I hate the word activist too. We'll go with conservative activist. This all happened during Pride Month. Did you notice that this year's Pride Month, there wasn't much celebrating? You weren't really having, gay pride shoved down your throat this year. I think this is one of the best Pride months we've had in recent memory, where people have chilled out on forcing this ideology down your throat. Now, Tractor Supply Company has come out in a written statement, a very forceful, clear written statement, erasing its DEI goals as well as its goals on reducing carbon emissions. This also means no more sponsorships of non-business activities like pride festivals and voting campaigns. They will also stop sending data to the Human Rights Campaign, a nationwide LGBTQ advocacy group that rates companies in its corporate equality index. For reference, Tractor Supply scored a perfect 100 in the 2022 rankings and a 95 in 2023. So they were knocking it out of the park per this gay advocacy group. Going forward, quote, we will ensure our activities in giving tie directly to our business. Tractor Supply is a Fortune 300 company with 2,250 stores in every state except Alaska. It bills itself as a rural lifestyle retailer. Now, the conservative activist known as Robbie Starbuck urged a boycott and listed many issues he had with the company. 3 weeks later, they threw it all away. And his argument was, woke priorities don't align with our state or Tractor Supply's customer base. This is a massive victory for sanity and the single biggest boycott win of our lifetime. All my side is asking for is sanity. Let stores just be stores again. No politics, no far left social values push, just good products and service. No one is asking for discrimination, just normalcy, and to not have your politics shoved down their throat. Amen to that. That seems like very common sense perspective. The company said it would further focus on rural American priorities such as animal welfare, veterans organizations, and organizations such as 4-H and FFA, also known as Future Farmers of America. I was born in the great state of Iowa, and I'm very familiar with 4-H and FFA. You know, it's real interesting that a rural lifestyle realtor would go rural lifestyle retailer would go all in on gay pride, on the climate and carbon emissions, in sponsoring pride festivals and voting campaigns, when it really should be focused on animal welfare, veterans organizations, and 4-H and FFA. They seem to have gotten the message. And perhaps, you know, I think a lot of this stuff is happening at lower levels in these companies. The CEOs and the people that are running the show aren't really burdening themselves with some of these things. And then when it gets brought to light and the CEO has to get involved, it's pretty clear that, you know, this is not advancing our business. This has the potential to really ruin our business, similar to what happened to Bud Light. So they just threw it all away. And all of a sudden, they are again a star with their rural conservative customer base. So shout out to Tractor Supply of Brentwood for abandoning their woke activism, coming back to sanity, and giving their customers what they want. They deserve a round of applause for handling themselves the way that they did. Now let's move on. A land sale price record of $7,461 per square foot, right? Arizona-based fundamental income properties recently paid $16.25 million for a sliver of a downtown parking lot located at 201 Broadway. The property spans just 0.05 acres. The firm now owns the entire parking lot, which is one of the last undeveloped spots on Lower Broadway. The investment firm previously set a record when it bought the two neighboring parcels located at 203 and 205 Broadway for $15.25 million in 2022. That property only spanned 0.06 acres, making the purchase price equivalent to $5,834 per square foot, which of course set the record at the time. The entire parking lot, located at the corner of 2nd Avenue and Broadway, spans just over 1/10 of an acre. The seller of both transactions, Old Town Trolley Tours of Washington, also broke records when it purchased the site in 2015, paying $1,053 per square foot. So this site of just 1/10 of an acre has broken the land record sale uh, 3 different times in its history. At the time, the company paid $5.05 million for all 3 parcels. Old Town Trolley Tours has held its base operations, selling tickets and departing trolleys from the 201 Broadway location since 2016. Fundamental Income Properties, the buyer, is backed by Brookfield Asset Management, which is a Goliath in the commercial real estate business. Brookfield previously owned Fifth and Broadway, which it sold to Northwood investors for $787 million in 2022. There is a $35 million construction project planned on this site to create a multi-story honky-tonk in association with Riot Hospitality Group, who will be the operator of this $35 million construction project. I don't know what their relationship is with Fundamental Income Properties. The simple way to do this would be for Fundamental Income Properties to lease the land to Riot Hospitality Group and then let them put up their building on the site. I'm not sure that's how it's going to work with a $35 million construction budget. Perhaps there's some type of partnership involved here. But nevertheless, Fundamental Income Properties pays record pricing for this site, only to turn around and hand it over to Riot Hospitality Group, who will construct a $35 million multi-story honky-tonk on the site. Crazy pricing, y'all. Crazy, crazy pricing. Number 3, Nashville SC names a new head coach, BJ Callahan. Callahan has served as an assistant coach for the U.S. men's national team since 2019. He is a New Jersey native who coached collegiately at Ursinus College. Ursinus. Interesting. You know, it makes me think about this cold situation that I have. Have you noticed that everybody is sick right now? All my kids are sick. I'm sick. I'm not really sick, but I have this nasal thing. So Ursinus College is where I've been hanging out for about 5 to 7 days, which was also his alma mater. He also coached at St. Joseph's University and Villanova University, and professionally for the Philadelphia Union of the MLS. Of course, the previous coach named Coach Gary Smith was the only coach in Nashville SC's history serving a 7-season tenure with the team. Interim head coach Roomba Muntali will continue leading Nashville SC until Callahan joins ahead of the Leagues Cup 2024. Now, let me give you an update on where Nashville SC is, because this has been a tough year for them. That's why Gary Smith got fired. You know, they're 8th in their division out of 15 right now. They have 6 wins, 8 draws, and 8 losses for just 26 points. Contrast that to the number 1 team out of Cincinnati, who is leading with 48 points. So if you don't know how soccer works, all the rankings go by points. You get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a loss. And then everybody adds up their points, and that's how you determine who is winning and who is losing in the division. So Nashville SC names a new coach who they poached from the U.S. men's national team. Let's see how that goes. I think the fan base is looking for some change. They're ready to start scoring some goals. Enough with the 0-score games. Enough with the draws. Let's make it exciting. Let's score some goals. Let's be entertaining. You know, I haven't been to a Nashville SC game all season, as a matter of fact, and I was a ticket holder up until this season. There's just not a big draw to get us there right now. You know, life is crazy. If you're going to really get your family of 6 somewhere together, it's got to be worth it. And this season, Nashville SC, at least for me, you know, hasn't felt worth it. But we'll get back at some point. Let's keep moving. I want to give you a local home sales update. Again, I am not in this business. I don't pay a whole lot of attention, you know, but it does speak to the strength of the greater economy to understand what home values are doing. So let's break it down. there was a 13% decrease year over year in number of transactions, right? So a lot of the misleading information comes here. They'll say that there's been a 13% drop year over year, right? Well, it's not a 13% drop in prices. It's a 13% drop in the number of transactions, which is less interesting to me. And I want to know what pricing is doing more than the number of transactions, right? So there's a 13% decrease in transactions year over year, but the median price has gone up. So the price is going up, the number of transactions is going down, and as a matter of fact, inventory is going up. So more houses on the market, fewer transactions at higher sale prices. The median price for a single family home, $505,000, up about 6% year over year. The median price for a condominium, $345,000. Now, the average days on market, only 44 days. So the houses that are selling rapidly. So to summarize this for you, this is the part you need to understand. Prices are still going up on Nashville residential real estate. Inventory is also going up. There are more properties out there to purchase, but transactions are going down. Fewer transactions are actually closing. I'm not going to try to convince you why that's happening. It's not my business, but I will tell you that that's what's happening. Prices are still going up, and that's the metric that means the most to me. Now, let's get into number 5. An Arkansas bank dominating the Nashville commercial real estate lending space. How can that be? Little Rock-based bank OZK, which I think is short for Ozarks, right? Maybe not. Little Rock-based bank OZK has financed nearly $2 billion worth of real estate in Nashville since 2013 without even having a physical office. It has funneled more money into Nashville's real estate boom than any other lender as of 2019, and its appetite is not suppressed by the current economic environment. Quote, "We're built for times like these." Bank OZK has provided nearly $700 million in construction financing the past few months for Tony Giarratana's 1010 Tower and multiple Nashville Yards towers. When interviewed, Bank OZK stated, "We absolutely have an appetite to provide construction financing. There are certainly opportunities now for us to get into really good deals. Right now, the multifamily market is soft. There has been a lull in construction permits, and it's not just in Nashville. We're seeing it across the Southeast in markets where people are having a hard time finding the equity. If we were to look at an office deal today, it would have to have some significant pre-leasing to it. Very difficult thing to do. We're interested in all the types of projects, multifamily, industrial, hotels. The first thing we do is look at the developer itself. Our goal is to try and get top quality sponsors, which means developers. We like to see a track record. Next, we look at location. If the location doesn't fit, I don't care if the developer is high quality. I think those are the two main things we look at. So Bank OZK comes into Nashville, loves to provide construction financing, cares most about who the developer is and where the project is located and whether or not it pencils out. $700 million in construction financing in just the past few months. There is a new bank in town while all the local lenders are pumping their brakes in fear of the regulators, right? Bank OZK comes to save the day. I will tell you that I do think regulators have ruined the banking business. I'm personally working on securing some construction financing for a project of my own, and I cannot believe how difficult it is. If you don't fit in this tiny little box that is defined by federal regulators, they absolutely will not lend you the money, even if they know you'll pay it back, even if they know you have a track record of success, they are too fearful of getting audited and dinged for making a loan that doesn't fit within these constraints imposed on them from federal regulators. I really think regulation, right? Government intervention and regulation has ruined the banking business. It should not be so hard for qualified people to borrow money. Now, let's move on. Surprising ways 3 blue chip companies make their money, right? McDonald's, you say McDonald's, they make money by selling cheeseburgers. Well, that's not true. So McDonald's is a franchisor. The folks selling cheeseburgers are franchisees. McDonald's is actually the world's biggest real estate company pretending to be a restaurant chain. The company owns more than 25,000 of the most well-located retail locations in the world, and often simply owns the land. So they buy the land, they lease it to the franchisee who puts the building up and pays them rent every month. And that's where they make the bulk of their money. So McDonald's, the franchisor, right? So that the corporate level really makes its money as a landlord, while the franchisee at the local level makes his money selling hamburgers, right? Now, the next is Costco. Costco is a retailer that sold $226 billion worth of stuff last year, but they barely made money off of that. So how did they land a profit of $9 billion? Memberships. Yes, memberships. 80% of Costco's profit comes from the $100 fee you pay just to walk in the door. So Costco tries to break even on the goods they sell and makes all of their profit, their flow to the bottom line profit from the membership fee that you pay just to get in the door. And here's another one. This one really surprises people that aren't in the commercial real estate business. Marriott is a hotel chain that doesn't actually own hotels. Yeah, it just slaps a brand on them. 30 chains owned by Marriott license their name, operating system, and loyalty program to independent owners, right? So independent owners of buildings that can be used as hotels license the brand from Marriott, license the operating system, and license the loyalty program. They're independent owners paying Marriott a fee to use their stuff. And then on top of that, the guys that actually own the real estate usually hire a third-party manager to supply the people that you see on site. So you can own a hotel building without actually operating a hotel. You hire a third party to do all the day-to-day work, provide you with the employees, and then you license the brand, operating system, and loyalty program from Marriott. So 3 surprising ways 3 blue chip companies make their money. Now, lastly, our last story, we're going to round out today's show. A local company founds a business called My Home, a AI-driven home maintenance company and repair company. So listen to this. The home services ecosystem is in the Stone Ages. Nashville-based ex-military couple have founded an artificial intelligence-driven home maintenance and repair company called My Home. My Home consolidates home maintenance bookings, scheduling, communications, and payments into a single platform with a matching algorithm that connects homeowners with vetted, licensed, and insured professionals. Homeowners can post jobs manually, upload problem photos, or book services through neighbor referrals. This is finally a solution that is just going to simplify home maintenance for everyone. And I definitely see My Home on the same playing field as DoorDash, as Uber, as basically one of those apps that you're going to go to for all things, right? Can you imagine having an app as simple as Uber or DoorDash for all of your home maintenance needs? This would really work because people are so lazy. I can't believe the amount of people that DoorDash junk food to their front door, pay a huge premium to do so, and then it shows up kind of not as hot as it should be. It's not the best quality food. If you're eating fast food, you got to eat it like a few minutes after it comes out of the fryer. It gets really gross. So people are paying a premium to have this fast food delivered to their house. It's not even that good when they get there. DoorDash is crazy how many people use DoorDash. I'm not a DoorDash guy. I never have. It seems ridiculous to me. But the point of the matter is people are lazy and want convenience. And if you can make home maintenance easy and convenient, people are going to go nuts. I think they're onto something here. Homeowners will be able to upload important documents, warranties, house deeds, insurance information, and even things like where the water shutoff valve is located in a digitized log. Using AI and the log, my home will be able to predict over time when routine maintenance is needed for certain things like air conditioning. Homeowners can also take photos of problems in their home, like a leaky pipe, and upload it to the app. AI will then analyze the photo, identify the problem, and write a booking. Let's go. You don't even have to write out the service that you need. You just take a picture of the problem area and it does it for you. Again, easier said than done, obviously. Starting a business is less about the idea and more about execution. This is going to be very hard to execute, but if they can pull it off, this is a big idea. The business officially launches in August to the Nashville market. There are currently 800 local homeowners on the wait list and over 50 local vendors. The company has raised $750,000 from friends and family, and they also hope to close a $1.25 million round of funding by the time they launch in August. The company currently has 7 employees operating in office space in Antioch. To make money, they will take a cut of every completed job. Vendors, on the other hand, will not have to pay anything to be on the platform. So they're actually getting paid by the homeowner, not the vendor, which is interesting. What a great idea this is. If you can pull this off, if you can actually execute this, right? Being able to come up with an idea is very easy. Being able to execute something that requires so many vendors and get the ball rolling in a way that's semi-profitable so you don't run out of money before you reach break even. This is an awesome idea. When I read this, I thought this will work. Home maintenance and repair, very difficult to sort out who's who. Very, very difficult to understand who to call for what. And then, obviously you're often disappointed with the results of the job and its associated costs. The worst is, everything costs so much, right? So if you're going to pay a premium for something, you want it to be perfect. And a lot of times these home maintenance and repair services are far from perfect, but they are very expensive. So I think this is a problem that needs to be solved. I wish this couple well. I think their idea is awesome and I'm rooting for them. So that's what I've got for you today, guys. I could have spent my whole 30 minutes talking about Joe Biden and his inability to form a coherent sentence. I could have spent the 30 minutes talking about the mainstream media who's been covering for Joe Biden for the last 4 years, all of a sudden realizes that the jig is up. And if they want to have any sliver of credibility going forward, they've got to call it out. And they're finally calling him out. When they were trying to take Trump's head off every day for 4 straight years, right? Biden has not had even a day of that until very recently. And now they're actively trying to take his head off because they think the Democrat mainstream media machine is going to lose the upcoming presidential election. And I think they're right. I also think they're going to lose the Senate, and I think they're going to lose the House. So if we can have Republicans, the presidency, the House, the Senate, we can get back to more common sense governance. We can get back to really peeling back all of the cost and bureaucracy and regulation that we're being terrorized by in this country at the federal level. We have a real chance to turn this country around before it's too late. And it's getting pretty late. So let's hope this plays out the way it should, and we can get back to business. We can get back to being Americans, and we can get back to being a free and civil society without the overwhelming burden of bureaucrats and overpaid, underworked government employees. That is my wish. We're going to find out real soon if it comes true. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you then.